Well, hello, folks, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Massachusetts Central Radio Show. This one's going to be a bit longer. It's not going to be short. It's going to be a bit longer, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. So will I. Today is, I haven't done this in a while. Today is September 5th, 2020. It is 10 days before my birthday, by the way. Where I turned 31, the big total 31. So yeah, hello everybody. I am your humble host, back for another one of these. I am excited. It's a long weekend. I have tomorrow off and Monday because of the holiday, of course, and um, then I work Tuesday. We're getting a new teammate on our team, so more firepower for us, which would be great. Although he comes later in the day a little bit, so that'll be interesting. Um, he's in with us for about 1 o'clock till about 6. But I will tell you this: we haven't met him yet, and he's starting on Tuesday, so I'll get to meet him Tuesday afternoon when he comes in. And it was a good week. It was very successful. I closed 2 nights, 2 nights by myself. Actually, I closed only one night. I co-closed last night, and then I fully closed on. Thursday night till 7:30, and everything's good. I'm happy. Everything's going great. My confidence is growing. I'm learning more combinations. Things are kind of clicking. I'm using all the little tricks and tips that April taught me. Learn the different styles of different people. Learn all the combinations, and be creative. That sort of thing. And I'm creative myself, so I've done very well. It's very encouraging that I'm doing well and such, and that everybody else is doing well. So it's doing well on my team and such, and that my friends are doing well. This week, the last 2 weeks have absolutely been unbelievable, to say the least. April getting the job. She's had the job for I think 4 weeks now. Her new job for I think 4 weeks now almost. And Tom's had he's only been in a couple days, but he's getting used to it, obviously, and I'm happy for both of them. To be honest, I'll have to talk to April maybe tomorrow or Monday. I think I'll talk to her Monday morning, Monday afternoon, sometime. But I did text her on the 25th, a couple of days after we talked. Told her, thank you for teaching me a couple of things here and there. We exchanged a little, so we're not completely foreign, but I want her to have peace and quiet, because she deserves it, to be honest, because, she deserves it, to be honest, because she worked at Keystroff for 9 years at Target, and she worked 13 years at Roach Brothers, on both occasions, at the end, I didn't treat her very well. And it's just, I'm just happy that she's got something else, and now that she has a new set of challenges, and the conversations will not be the same, obviously, because it'll be like, oh, I have new challenges now, I'm dealing with this. That'd be great. So, because, she has more of a passion for security. For those of you who do not know, she actually does security at the Anime Boston event that they hold every April It's actually funny. It's actually quite funny. Her name's April, and the event that she helps volunteer at is actually in April. Sometimes it's in March, but a lot of times it's in April, of course, which I find funny, which I find hilarious. I think I told her that once, and I think she giggled at it. Thank you. Um, you know, yeah, I got her to giggle a couple times. Giggle, she got a cute laugh, I'll tell you. Um, very funny laugh. And so she applied that experience. She got a couple references. The state helped her out with resume building and all that other stuff, and she finally got this. So I'm proud of her using all of the road. It was something that I instilled in her long ago. I taught her, use all your resources, use all of the road to win, and she did. It's amazing how she dug those resources. It's amazing, just like I did, because I dug my resources online, and look where I am. I got a new job. Pays to also know people that are in your business. I'm pretty sure my buddy Kyle, who is no longer at the job, he actually walked. His last day was let's say it's the 5th. His last day was probably 3 weeks ago. Was 3 weeks ago. So yeah, it's great stuff, it's great stuff and everything, and I like it. So yeah, work's going good. Friends are doing good. I haven't talked to Megan, but I'll talk to her this week, maybe. She said she called me this week or next week. I'm pretty laid back, cool guy, so she can call me back whenever, But for the most part, doing good. I wanted to tell you guys that I do not know when I'm going to be ordering another microphone because, it's. I know this is a radio show and everything and such, but I plan to get a microphone maybe when things start to. I have to watch my expenditures because even though I'm working, I'm trying to save money for school, guys, because I'm trying to go. Not only try to save money for school, but my objective is to save money for school and to live somewhere else on my own eventually. Because when I go to school, I'm going to need to be vastly independent. I mean, I'm 31, right? So, I'm fairly independent. I can do stuff on my own, obviously. My dad still gives me advice because, he's my dad. So he gives me advice all the time. Maybe one of the best guys to give me advice of all time. And, I have friends that help support me. So, I'm never alone in this fight, in this fight. And, in my endeavor, well, not my fight, but my venture in life. So that's that. I will be buying Mafia Definitive 1 pre-order, and the game comes out in 20 days, which is 2 weeks almost. But I have to make sure all my bills are paid and everything's all good and everything's all up to date and stuff, because that's going to be important to be honest. I can't have X amount of dollars hanging over my head because of that. So that's the reason why and not only that, I'd rather save money for if I'm going to hang out with friends or whenever that happens, I believe, now that I mention that, Dan Barrett, a friend of mine, I've already told you guys about this, and I've already done, and I already did one of the vlogs with this beforehand. He, I, and Tom go way back to our high school days. Dan came into our circle of friends back in the mid 2000s. I'm gonna say 2004, 2005, somewhere around there, and he got along with, everybody, obviously, and he was a good kid, misunderstood on some levels, but we kind of by other people, but he was always an interesting kid, to say the least. But we understood him. Um, we understood him to the best of our ability, and some of us actually got used to him a lot. Um, and he's like everybody else. He'll say some off color stuff and whatnot, and you'll have to sit there and go, hey, so I shouldn't be saying that, and just to FYI, Dan, and he understands, he learns. Obviously, that's the thing in life, is to learn. For one thing, and one thing only, it's like, and he got, I don't know, he got pretty friendly. I mean, we were pretty good buddies. He'd invite me a lot over his house, and we got to talk about various things, and I got to see his house. His house was pretty cool up in Weston, Mass. He's out of Weston. Well, was originally out of Weston. Now he's no longer there. He's somewhere else. I forget where. But always interesting to hear his point of view. It didn't matter how wild some sounded. Like, I've been known to say some pretty wild things coming out of my mouth. Everybody knows that. Tom, who's going to watch this, knows that things fly out of my mouth when they shouldn't. But things would fly out of his mouth and be like, "Hey, Dan, it's all right. It's gonna happen." Sometimes it'd be really bad, and something you wouldn't be able to take back with somebody else who was less understanding. But we kind of knew what he was like. Some of the stuff he says, it's a little off color, but you know what? We understood him. We told him in the end, listen, you learn from your mistake. You learn from your mistake, move on. We'll all be good. It's only if the person who he said it to forgave him, which was, we all got over it. Not that I got insulted very much, because he actually took quite a not a liking, but he understood. He wanted to be around me a lot. If there was one person he used to call for sleepovers and stayovers, it would be me. And it would be a Friday night. It would be a Friday or Saturday night. And it would be 12 o'clock in the afternoon. He'd ring up. Well, his mother wouldn't ring up because we exchanged numbers. My mother and I probably long since lost that number, but I think I have Dan's number poking around somewhere. I think I also have April's too, but I don't know where I put it. So I don't tend to use it very much because she hates calling. It's not really her thing. Texting and messaging is her thing, and talking in person is her thing, even though that's not a thing with us anymore. But it's just one of the many things that. But yeah, he's coming up in late September, early October. I think he's going to be here for a couple of weeks, because I'm pretty sure wherever he's coming from, there's going to be a quarantine for 2 weeks, and he's going to have to stay here in the Bay State for a while, because you're obviously so if he comes here and he needs to quarantine, he's going to be here for 2 weeks. He's going to be here for 14 days pretty much. So end of September, early October, it's anybody's guess when that's going to be, but I haven't anybody's guess what day it's going to be. And if he's going to be here 14 days, pick one. I'm going to be off Monday and Sunday, Monday, so Tom's off on a Monday. Which I'm hoping he is, so we can go see Dan, because Dan's an interesting guy. He knows I'm into cars, so every time every time we'll start talking, he'll ask me, because he knows I'm into Corvettes and racing. He'll be like, "Hey, how the race cars do? How the Corvette race cars doing?" And I'll tell him the story. I'll tell him the story, which I don't mind retelling, even though, some people will be like, cars, you know. It's like me talking. It's like me talking to. It's like me talking to Dragon Ball with an anime fan who knows about it. I mean, used to know a kid at Target named Elias. He was pretty cool kid. He was he and I actually got along very well. He was actually a very good kid. He actually was a he's actually he's actually one of my favorite African American friends. African American friends. He and I got along really good. He and I could talk about Dragon Ball all day long. Although, but but you can see the similarity. He and I would be able to talk about Dragon Ball. Dan would be able to talk about race cars and Corvettes and the such politics, which his mother was into, but I was not. In fact, I vaguely remember politically, I was never inclined to have a conversation with the kid because I never could stand. I was never politically versed, and we kind of stayed away from politics after a bit. After, I'm gonna say, 2006, 2007, when everything kind of went haywire, we kind of stayed hush, very, very hush about it. It was one of those things, especially during the 2008 election. It was very cool. The only thing was, though, I can remember off the top of my head that we were at breakfast one day. I think this was right before the election. I think this was like October, right before the election. Asking me who I was voting for, and I'm like, "That's my choice. I'm not gonna do it." So let's compare the candidates, shall we? So we can see what everybody's like. And we listed off what we liked and what we liked about the candidates, and we were kind of listening to what we hated about the candidates and what we didn't like about the candidates. And his mother was actually very good at keeping the peace during political conversations. As aggressive as she was with everybody else, my dad kind of figured that out one night when I think we were at an open house, and he figured it out that she was very aggressive, very Democrat. Because my dad's bounced over the years. He's kind of undecided, because kind of in the middle, because of the way how volatile politics are right now, and you don't want to be contact to a party. But back then, he was more. He was a little bit of a mix. Sometimes he would go Democrat for some things and we go Republican for others. My dad had a mix. I'm undecided in the middle. I'm more of a centrist. If you guys want to know what a centrist is, it's one of those things. So, that'd always be fun to have a political conversation. But he was smart enough to keep it very, very peachy. And, looking back, she's actually very smart. She was actually very smart. Dan's mother, Mary, very smart lady. Looking back, I was always afraid to talk politics, but now that but being in that lady's presence was actually very good, because you got to learn how they act. If you were a Republican, which I'm going to reveal right now, I was back then, because I wasn't in favor of Obama. So, well, Obama, and people knew I didn't like him because, well, I knew what was going on, and you know, I wasn't for McCain either because I thought McCain was a, and I wasn't for McCain. I wish somebody else came into it, but it is what it is. History is written by the victor. Obviously, Obama got in because got in twice, and and it's been a nonstop roller coaster ever since. But those political conversations were definitely helpful. Definitely helpful a little bit because it's just one of those things. But yeah, it'd be good to see him at the end of September and such. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna bid this one adieu. I think it is like 11:55, I think, or something, and it's really late. But I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Maybe outside. I may be outside of this one. But yeah, guys, peace out. Stay safe. Sanitize. Face mask. Social distance. Peace out. Long live this country. Long live our rights. Play and bless all the souls and my friends. Let them overcome their obstacles. Good night.